We had been hanging out in the Cascais marina for over a week now, whilst Zach's parents had been visiting. Despite the rain, it had been incredible having them stay on the boat and exploring the surrounding areas. However, there's only so much marina we can have at once, and it was about time we headed into the anchorage opposite.
Boat I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That is a gorgeous piece of art. And ocean leopard's pretty sick as well.
Look how big the mast is on that boat. We're Becka and Zach, a couple who recently, after years of dreaming, bought ourselves a beautiful 40-foot Colvic Victor sailboat. Life is short and the world is wide, and there are so many lessons to be learnt, laughs shared, people met, adventures had, and nautical miles to be sailed. And this is our way of sharing it all with you. Welcome to the Tay-Lee. Bloody doing it! Where are we at? We have left the marina and we are on anchor. We're just in the Cascais anchorage. It's just next door and it's not at all protected. It's fine because the winds are only picking up to 26 knots, but it's the fetch. Because there's quite a big body of water ahead of us, the wind makes the waves pick up. And anyway, we're facing into them, which is lovely. But we are just up and down, and some of them are breaking, so that's pretty mental. But what's been happening over the last day and a little bit, last night we got invited to a pontoon party with a lot of people who were doing a similar trip to us, and it was so lovely to finally meet a lot of young people. And Zach went to start the engine and the pull cord snapped. What are the chances? It's like 42 years old and it's never, well, we don't think it's snapped before now until, anyway, it's snapped. So he's replaced that with just some paracord.
Use it, Daddy. Right, whip it off.
He bought an anchor light, a tri-NASA combination anchor tri-light. Why was that so hard to say? But we bought one and we have been trying to fit it. And I've mounted it to the top and taken the old one down. Cut. Okay, cut the old one off. But it's not just as simple as that, obviously. It's Tay-Lee. It's not just a red and a black cable which you have to connect up, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Nuh-uh. The top of the nav light at the top is a blue and a brown cable, and then the steaming light also has a blue and a brown cable. But down here, we have a green, brown, red, yellow and white cable. Do you see the issue? So, essentially, I think there's a connector between this cable and the one in the mast.
Yeah.
And it's not at the bottom of the mast.
It's not in here, is it?
Well, I think so.
Oh, it's in this bit?
Well, that's the only place I can think of. It could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere between the mast and there, because there's a thick cable. Out the bottom there's a thin cable. So between there and there's a connection, I assume. Oh no, this is what happens. So the brown goes to the yellow and the blue goes to the green. The steaming brown goes to the brown and the steaming blue goes to the green. And ideally we need to switch the tri-light blue from green to white because the green is the common. Does that make sense?
As you can hear, we had quite the wiring pickle happening on board. Thankfully, whilst we were still in the marina, we had our friend Joe from Sailing Nenders pop over and help us decipher it.
Oh, so what the f is this light? It doesn't do anything.
Basically, we had a shared negative wire for all the lights up our mast, which usually wouldn't be an issue, but our new light required a switch to reverse the polarity. essentially swapping the positive and negative to change the anchor light to the tri-light. A very clever system to reduce the amount of wires running up the mast. Now we just had to find the one wire which could be its own negative. Oh, and all whilst rolling a little ferociously at times.
Our snubbers are working so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chain is completely slack. I was a little stumped why it wasn't showing a continuous circuit. But at this point, I didn't have too much to lose. So we added a 1 amp fuse, wired up the switch and gave it a go. It's on. I see a red light. I think it's a red light on. I think. Oh, please work.
Yeah, there's something on.
Yeah? It's green. Okay, go. Yeah! We got an anchor light. We got an anchor light. That's epic, Zach. It worked after all of that.
Have a go.
Oh. That's such a good feeling. Oh my gosh, we have an anchor light at the top of our mast, like all the cool kids. I felt a bit demoralised all day, and to see that just is the best feeling ever.
After that success, we were full steam ahead into our boat jobs. In the next few days, we would be heading 680 nautical miles to the Canary Islands. And despite us not wanting to motor, it was important our engine still was given a mini service. Today I am going to be changing the coolant in the engine. It's something that's never been done by us, and we're fairly sure the last owner hadn't done it, or hadn't done it for a while at least. I'm going to start by pumping out the old antifreeze in there into a bucket, which I'm going to take to shore later, and then flushing it through some water and then putting in the new antifreeze that we've got. So we've got 13 litres of antifreeze in there, so it might take a while for me to pump all this out, but I'm going to try and pump out the worst of it and then empty it, because the way that ours works, I'll show you in a minute, is that the drain hole in it is right above a load of electrical bits on the engine, so it's quite a unusual design. So I'm going to try and pump out the worst of it, and then we're going to drain it through the bottom. So yeah, watch as I struggle through this. It's really hot on my hand though.
Yeah, it says it's boiling on there. Maybe just wait for it to cool down a little bit.
And just a look at the instruction manual again, and I'm fairly sure there's another point where I can drain the coolant from, so I'm going to see it's around the other side of the engine. And I think it should work, but it's a lot easier for me to get to, and it doesn't really matter if it drips down from there, because I'll have to clean up for the build, but this way it doesn't actually go with any wires, so hopefully I can do it all by that, because that'd be pretty good.
Why does our thingy look so funny?
What?
The shape of our foam air filter looks funny.
Yeah, it's the right one. And this is another red liquid. I've just drained out all the old coolant now, and there's two different kinds of coolant. I'm not an expert on coolant by any means, but I got taught a while ago that if you mix two kinds of coolants, they can like form a gel, coagulate and form a gel in your engine. So what I'm just going to do now is just test and make sure that that's not going to happen. So I've got some old antifreeze in there, and I got the new stuff here. So I'm going to mix them two now, and then hopefully it doesn't form a gel. If not, we're going to have to flush it through or do something with this just to make sure that all the old stuff is out.
Yeah, I think we're alright. They're both pink, and I think people say if you mix the pink and the green it's bad, but pink and pink is okay.
At the moment it doesn't look like it's turning into a gel. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer and just see, but I'm fairly happy with how that is. This would be the worst thing in the world if I slip.
Yeah, it really would.
Okay. It's getting there.
While Zach was changing the coolant, something really exciting happened. We just got our first order. I cannot believe it. We just launched our website like 5 minutes ago, and yeah, we just got our first order, and I can't even tell you how exciting that is.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. I have really no words. I feel really just excited. Yeah, first order, number one. If you have no idea what we are talking about, we launched some Tribe t-shirts. As December is going to be our busiest month of sales, we have decided to give the month's profits to a local sailing club from where we met in Wales. Our friend Paul, who we introduced to you a while ago, currently volunteers to give disabled youngsters the opportunity to get out on the water. It was him who helped find Tay-Lee for us, and we really wouldn't be where we are without his knowledge and advice. The link is in our bio if you want to donate to this incredible club.
Well, then here on south it should be getting a lot drier.
The next morning, whilst our friends Marta and Dennis from Fishcake, who lost their anchor the other day, rafted up with another friend of ours, Edward, I got to doing something that had been bugging me for a while.
These pins here are actually quite hard to pull out, so there's cable ties in them to pull them all out. But I hate the cable ties, it's just like cheap and horrible. So I'm actually going to put some line on there, so I'm just going to replace all of them with that to make it look a lot better.
Taking this old tape off. It's all brittle and some of it's fallen off, as you can see anyway, so the reason we are taping these, initially we weren't going to because we wanted to monitor corrosion, but it's easier for us to check for corrosion than it is to risk our sails or sheets getting ripped or worn from these.
And my leg as well.
Zach's leg.
Because I've caught myself in these pins a few times already.
Yeah, it is worth it. Just putting shiny new, literal shiny new tape on, which should be nice and protective, and it looks a little bit better too, which is always nice.
Look at that.
Good morning. Today, finally, I'm going up the mizzen mast and I'm going to fix this coaxial cable. As you can hear, it still rattles, and it has done since Mayflower. We've kind of grown used to it now, but it will just be nice when it's fixed, really. We spoke to some friends yesterday who had the same issue in their mast once they ran a wire, and all they did was reach in a few gaps up the mast and cable tied it tight, and I think that's what we're going to have to do. If it doesn't work through the radar hole, we did try that down here the other day, but it didn't quite do it justice because it was too low down. And if that doesn't work, we're going to have to, well, I'm going to have to go to the top of the mast and try and just put it tight through the hole up there. Fingers crossed, because it would be nice once that stops, especially in preparation for our bigger crossing in a few days' time.
I guess you probably want to go around the front of all of this, don't you?
Are you good?
Yeah. Stay. Stay. Okay, so I've got one on, and I'll put the other one on as well. It's not rattling though.
That's really good, Becca.
Come on. Come on. Please. Oh. The hair clip just keeps bending. Come on, please. Oh, done it. Oh my gosh, I got it through.
Yeah?
It's actually easier than the main because I don't have to do anything. Yeah, nice. Pretty surreal feeling, considering we've lived with it for like, how long? 3 months or 4 months?
Is this to stop the radar, the cable banging?
She's done it!
Oh, well done! Well done, guys. See you soon.
See you guys! Bye, water!
Yeah.
Yep.
It smells nice in here.
We've gone for the chain approach now because we've heard of a few dinghies being taken. So we've got a... That was close.
Thank God that's got a float on it.
So we've gone for the galvanised chain. No one's going to be stealing Tiny anytime soon. Nice. Let's go shopping.
We bought a ton of stuff whilst in Porto because there were loads of big shops there. The little hall.
Oh my gosh. Nice.
But we still need to top up, as when we sail, we eat a lot. So it was back to the supermarket to grab a few last provisions.
Zach, I think we should get these.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, this one, or do you get the next one?
The next one.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just put this on and then I'll get the bow line on. Oh, thanks.
Alright, I'm gonna turn her off.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
That is the biggest cat I've ever seen. That's massive. Imagine getting that in this space. Where? Oh yeah, it is. Good job, Zach. So we are reversing out of the marina now and going back onto anchor. We filled up fuel, we filled up water, which was painful, but we're not going to talk about that. And we've emptied our rubbish bins, so we're feeling really ready to go tomorrow. And the rest of the day was spent cleaning Tay-Lee, as we know that when we are sailing, that gets pushed aside a little. Thanks for being here, for watching and supporting us. We just couldn't be here without you. Catch us next week as we set sail for an island 680 nautical miles away and catch our first fish.
Yes, little Mahi.
Woo! Oh, amazing!
Okay.